All right, let's take a look here at the Rams and the Seahawks. The Seahawks are currently anywhere from 4 to 5. So you can see a whole point difference, 5 being that no man's land, 4 being that semi-key number. 46 and a half is the total in this one. Guys, this one also in my account. Seahawks at 4 in the account. And listen, we talked about how bad and how terrible the Cardinals defense is going to be. It can only be rivaled by what the Rams are going to put on the field, and it would be the Rams if it wasn't for Aaron Donald. And if they didn't have one at least absolute massive stud, the Rams would have the worst defense in the NFL. And you take a look at this, Steven. I don't understand how this thing is kind of going back the other way in favor of the Rams, which it is at this point. When you look at that defense, like, I don't care what you think of Geno Smith. I don't care what everybody is going to score on this Rams defense. Like every team that they play is going to score on this Rams defense. It doesn't matter whether you think that Geno Smith is going to regress because he did kind of like stumble down the stretch last year and there were a lot of turnover worthy plays, et cetera, et cetera. He had 2 rookie tackles. As the same we were talking about earlier, these guys supposedly get better in year 2. You can't argue the skill position players. You add Jackson Smith and Jigba. What they added on the defensive side of the ball, by the way, they've drafted great on the defensive side of the ball. They're looking much better as well. No Cooper Kupp for this Rams team. I mean, I don't know, man. Again, I these might all be trap games for me, and I might just be like coming on here and hat in hand after week 1, just going, hell, I didn't see that happening. But again, I think the Seahawks win this thing, and I think they thump the Rams like big time.
Pretty sure that Seattle was -6 in this situation at home against the Rams last year with no Matthew Stafford, no Cooper Kupp. So obviously no Cooper Kupp again this time. Is 2 points more enough when Matthew Stafford's back starting in the game, but has a bunch of below average people that he has to throw to on offense? Oh, by the way, Seattle's young defense is a year older, and Woolen and company are probably better going into year 2. And you add another dynamic weapon with Jackson Smith and Jigba, who is now healthy, it appears, after a bit of a preseason scare. So, yeah, it would only be Seahawks for me. I just don't know what confidence you can have in Matthew Stafford without Cooper Kupp with what's around him at this point. Not to mention that we talked about in the preseason shows, Matt, that the offensive line doesn't really appear to be all that improved after it was just a turnstile last year, getting Matthew Stafford killed. So, yeah, it's Seahawks or nothing for me. I don't have a bet in the account right now for it, but like the Eagles, man, I'm staring real hard at this side.
Adam, Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, and Puka Nacua are going to be the 3 starting wide receivers for the Rams. And name me somebody outside Aaron Donald on the defensive side of the ball as well. I mean, it's bad. And I think this team is going to be one of those. This doesn't have nothing to do with this week in this game, but I think this team gets sold off for parts at the trade deadline. I think Aaron Donald's going to end up on a different team. I think that there's a lot to break down here, but it's specifically this week. I don't see how they compete. I mean, again, maybe Matthew Stafford is completely healthy, and maybe Puka Nacua is going to end up being the receiver that I had no idea he could be, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
All right, so let's play out the bull case for the Rams here, and I'll give you an alternative way to bet this game so that I'm not saying the same things that you guys have said, right? Let's just say that Sean McVay has been able to find the weakness in the Seattle defense, and maybe that Jamal Adams isn't really healthy yet, and maybe Tariq Woolen had a great first season, but Sean McVay has identified exactly how to go after him. Okay, I mean, I'll give you all of it. I'll give you that Matthew Stafford might be a backdoor cover machine. Right? Maybe he can throw the ball. Maybe Sean McVay is so good that he can scheme enough guys open. He wasn't able to do it last year without Matthew Stafford. So let's give you all of that. If you don't like what you see there, play it under. Play it under. And let me tell you why you play the under 46.5 here. Think about who is coaching the other team. It's Pete Carroll. And what has Pete Carroll shown you? as soon as Pete Carroll has more than a score lead, he is going to run the ball like it's 1944.
And he got a new present in the draft. He got a new toy.
He did. I think was it a Sauvignon Blanc? Oh no, a Chardonnay. He got a Chardonnay. He got a Chardonnay in the draft. Yeah, so you gave him a brand new Chardonnay in the draft. And even if Kenneth Walker is on the injury report going into this week, if they end up 27-3, like Geno Smith isn't even going to be on the field anymore. They're just going to direct snap to the running backs over and over and over again. And yes, I'm being hyperbolic when I talk about that, but I see no way in which the Rams can score. So if you want to play under for the Rams, then play under team total, play under if you're just not confident enough to lay it with Seattle. But am I going to argue with you guys if you want to lay it with Seattle? Not at all.